Davis. Garry, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I'm Garry Davis, 88 years old. Call myself a world citizen. There are many people throughout history have called themselves world citizens, going back to Socrates and the ancient Greeks and so forth. So there's nothing new about it, but it's new in the sense that we can now practice it, and that's what I've been doing now since May 25th, 1948.
All right. And if I look at your website, then I see that you thought of most important functions of a, say, world citizenship and a state that could be part of this. One of the things I like to focus on with you is on the monetary aspect. You invented a currency. Can you tell us something about that?
Yes, well, I didn't invent it. It's an idea of Buckminster Fuller. Currency, of course, the word currency means current. It's got the flow. And the idea that we have in one world, actually, which you can get around in 2 days, 200 different currencies is absolute nonsense. That's what the nation state has brought to us, carried over from the 18th, 19th centuries. So what I came to, and after studying it, that if we are world citizens, then and building a world constituency, that we should have our own currency. There's an incredible manuscript in our website called the Memorandum on World Government, which was written by a very sage, actually, in India, Nataraja Guru, who mentioned about a world currency. Well, he complimented Buckminster Fuller, who said that money is simply crystallized energy. And you can use anything for money as long as it's a medium of exchange, as long as people trust it. In other words, the intrinsic value of money is trust between people. You can use gold tablets, you can use big stones, you can use shark's teeth. History is full of different items that were used as money simply because they exchanged for real goods and real services. So if you're looking at money in terms of global thing, the one thing that everybody needs, and which is universal and readily available, of course, is the sun power. So Buckminster Fuller said, if you're thinking in terms of money on the global level, then think in terms of a kilowatt hours. So we developed, before we went to the Earth Summit in 1992, we produced, because we have our own government now, we have a constituency of world citizens. This started back in September 4th, 1953. We went out and we finally printed our own money, kilowatt dollars, and took them down to the Earth Summit and started to distribute them. It was very hot down there, and we were accosted by the Brazilians who said that Americans were rich and they were poor, and the sun was boiling down and everybody was sweating, and I said, look at that sun out there. That sun is pouring billions of kilowatts dollars on your land every second. And then I started distributing the kilowatt dollars. I said, I'm giving a kilowatt dollar to each person. They were in $10 denominations, actually. And people just wanted them. They grabbed them. They said, oh, world money, this is it. And that was a very interesting experiment to me, because people are ready for world currencies, not to make them rich, etc. That's the false thing of money, that when you use money simply as a product, then you can speculate on it and buy low and sell high, and that's how these men make a lot of money and so forth. That's just one aspect of how to divide people into rich and poor. But this is simply a medium of exchange between people. And the intrinsic value of world money, of course, is that it is a peace currency. If you have world money, it can't be taxed for war. So immediately it has a value beyond its just a piece of paper thing. And it has a trust value, because now when people create goods and services and so forth, it's a bottom-up situation. So the money, the energy which we employ and which we have and so forth, is simply corresponding to the bills that we have in our hands. There's old books about how certain communities have recognized that if they maintain their currency within that economic community, then it works. And that's a great example. But now, for the first time in our human history, now we have a global village. And that same principle, the one and the many, can be employed in terms of currency, because that sun is pouring those billions of kilowatts on our ground every second. We also have other sources of energy, of course. We all know that, hydropower and biomass and all the rest of it. So there's nothing that we can't do here. But we have to have the institution to do it, and that's what the world government is all about.